Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
What's up, everybody? Welcome. Thanks for tuning in. I am the American Anchor Baby. This is my show, and thanks for being here, right? Let's get going here in a sec. Let me say hello to everybody. Calm down. Let's slow down. Some good shows today. Great stuff. Hake Report, Joel Friday. We're on the Bond Network. It's really happening. So thank you for joining today. Welcome, welcome. Drop that like. That's subscribe here on YouTube, American Anchor Baby, also on Rumble, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. The party's getting going over there. You can join, okay? You can join and get it going. So thanks for being with me. We've got a nice show ahead. We're dealing with a couple of things here. There's some videos that come out of the purported a white man saying he was at the Riverboat brawl. We'll just do a little bit on that, okay? Alabama Part 2 real quick, but it segues into the rest of the show. Be dealing with a couple of things, okay? So tune in, some videos and stuff I want to comment on. Trump, they're saying take it like a man. You should be a man and just take the loss like a man. And, of course, other things. We got some fun stuff. Oh, yeah, Fousey. I talked about Fousey Tube. The poor man, someone give him an N-word pass quick. Life's not going too well for him, but it's what we're all going through, and everybody loves to judge. And of course, some other stuff. I mean, I got all these links now. I actually got like half a show here. I got like a halfway show here for y'all, and it's of course that and your calls 888-775-3773 if you want to jump in and call in, right? Right on. So, let me get right into this, okay? Because, like I said, there's a video of someone saying that they were at the Alabama Riverboat brawl, which we talked about that yesterday. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. It was a mess and all that. So we already hashed the details out yesterday. If you want to check out yesterday's show, or if you want to podcast it. You can find my podcast on Spotify, American Anchor Baby, as well as Substack. You can for sure find it on AmericanAnchorBaby.substack.com. If you'd like to listen to the show while you're doing stuff, yesterday's show, I mean, because we were talking about this Alabama situation, okay? And, you remember what happened. The boat was the big boat, the riverboat was supposed to dock, but the boat was in the way, and then it got turned into a fight. And yeah, that white guy came in and tackled that black guy. Maybe I think from what we could tell, right? We weren't there. Looks like the white guy started it. I understand all that. And people were saying, white people I'm so happy white people are standing up. And other people were saying, well, I'm so happy black people are standing up. All I saw was Satan laughing. And Satan wins. But a video of a person claiming to be one of those individuals in this brawl that broke out has gone viral on TikTok, okay? Saying, you see this guy, he's got kind of a messed up face. And he's describing very quickly in a very short video in a very, very short video. Gives his little take on what happened. Alleged. This is alleged that this is the person, or at least one of the persons, one of the people in the Riverboat brawl. Riverboat brawler speaks out. Newsweek.com. Riverboat brawler speaks out. Other publications. So this is the video that went kind of viral. Let's watch it. Let's watch this video, okay?
Well, turns out that 65-year-old man could really throw him.
Turns out that 65-year-old man could really effing throw him, is what he said. This is, of course, alleged. This is the guy. You see his face all beat up. And maybe you missed it. It was short, but that's what he said. Turns out this guy can really throw him.
Well, turns out that 65-year-old man could really throw him.
It's kind of funny, right? And is it just me, or does it feel a little bit like, oh, just Southern and okay, yeah, the fight was the fight, and we had the fight, and it's over, and you could throw him. Look at my face. This is how we do it. Wash your hands, shake the dust off. That's how it goes. Am I wrong about this? This is the kind of vibe I'm getting. Just Southern. It's not about, we're not black man versus white man. No, it's just a 65-year-old man had hands, and I caught him. That's how it goes down. And isn't it kind of like, again, I don't know if this is the guy. This is just allegedly the guy. And I have another suspicion about this video I'm about to get into. But isn't that just like nice? Because everybody's going crazy saying, oh, this happens because of this reason or that reason. When it was a fight, mutual combat, this guy caught the hands. There he is, taking a video. Hey, look at my face. This is how it went down, and it's over. And that's it. Those people fought. You see what I'm saying? Now, anybody out there use TikTok a lot, or Snapchat, or any of these apps? Can someone check for me and tell me if there is a filter, a TikTok filter or Snapchat filter that makes your face look like this? Because I'm a little suspect. Let me play this for you one more time. Do you have discerning eyes? Because these filters are getting amazing, but there's little aberrations around the pixels, little things you could notice. And can anyone confirm? Anybody know if there is a beat up filter? Because these filters that make you look like all sorts of stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about, the filters, but is this a filter?
Well,
pay attention around the black eyes, okay? The black eyes around his eye, the black eyes, not guys. Do you notice what I notice?
Well, turns out that 65-year-old man could really throw him.
And his voice sounds a little. It sounds a little like nasally, like he has something in his noses. But I don't know if it's that good. I don't. Turns out that I would think it would sound more muffled. Like I would think. Turns out that 65-year-old, right? Because his nose is all plugged up. It would be more like, turns out that 65-year-old man can really throw him. So that's kind of my. Okay, I'm just investigating here. That's just my thoughts. The black guys around his eyes. No, his black eyes kind of shift a little bit, like they're not fully stuck on his eyes or under his eyes. Hake says he thinks it's real. I really don't know. That is not a filter, says Scott Starboard. He does speak like he has. Okay, maybe I'm too conspiratorial. Okay, too conspiratorial. Okay, nothing's real. Okay, guys, nothing is real. Wake up. Wake up. There's nothing real. You guys really believe this is real? I'm playing around. But that might be the guy, and I hope it is, because if it is, it's like, it proves my point. It's just mutual combat. This is me. I took the hands. Right. They also tried to make it seem like they all 6-on-1 guy. They beat the crap out of this guy. It's horrible, but looks like it was me. Looks like there was some good strikes going back and forth, right? If this is to be believed. And there was an actor. You guys know this actor, actually. You guys might know this actor. I definitely know him because I'm the blackest one on the Bond Network. Now, that may be up for debate, but I'm talking about Marlon Wayans from the Wayans brothers. I grew up watching this stuff, like reruns, like 90s, because it's like an older show, no? I grew up in Miami. I remember watching it was always on TV. The Wayans brothers. Marlon Wayans slammed over Alabama boat fight reaction. The white chick star comments about the Alabama incident, okay? And he posted this thing on Instagram. And he gave his take. And he said, basically what he wrote was, how about we not try that in a small town? SHIT, silly, bro. Let's all just be love, not war. Right on, Marlon Wayans. Right? Come on, y'all. You may not agree with me. Fine, you may not agree with me. Like, okay, whatever. This anchor baby, racist, works for Jesse. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Just always going to take the side of the white person, flip it. Anytime there's a video of a black and white fight. Well, how about you listen to Marlon Wayans? Okay? Let's all be love, not war. Right? Let's all be love, not war. I guess he references that song. Try that in a small town, and in the article here. He's getting slammed, apparently, because he quoted that song and kind of counter-signaled against all the fighting and brawling. And Daily Mail writes here that he's getting slammed for not talking about this. How about you show the entire video from the beginning when the white man jumped a hard-working black man? And these are the style of comments and criticisms Marlon Wayans is getting. It's not easy telling people to just, hey, let's not hate and let's love. It's a hard world. It's a hard world when you try and say something like that. Something as insane as that. So right on, Marlon Wayans. Yeah, what about love? 𝒔𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, bobblehead. That's just from White Chicks. That's a little White Chicks reference. Miami, Florida, 90s, Wayans brothers. But on this though. Oh, thanks. Spoiler alert. Always in the chat with the links. Right on. Our actor Marlon Wayans slammed over Alabama boat fight reaction. Oh no, I almost got the courage to try my John Witherspoon, but we'll have to leave that for another day. No. But on this, okay? On this. Identity. Okay, because I want to move on from the Alabama stuff. We did it yesterday. But identity, this is such a good demonstration of identity. And it reminded me of a caller on the Hake Report. And I never got to mention this. But it was an interesting call about identity. They were talking about dwarves, okay? Little people, LPs. What should I call them? YouTube? What do I say? The LPs, the little people, the dwarves, the midgets. Whoa. Calm down. Getting too excited here. I'm a comedian. And so he had a call about that. And, the caller was, I forget exactly. They were talking about dwarves, right? Little people. And and the caller pointed out that there are people out there that want, the LPs to be called people with dwarfism. Hobbits, says Steve Strzok. I did not say that. He said that. And he says they shouldn't be called dwarves. They should be called people with dwarfism. And Hake made an interesting point. He made an interesting point about that because he very expertly sussed out that the spirit behind that, people wanting to emphasize language in that way is they want you to emphasize the person first, okay? You need to emphasize the person first. And he brought up the example of, for example, people saying colored people versus people of color. Because you should emphasize the person first. Everybody else gets to just be a people. How come these are colored? Why do you want to point out their color, right? And I realized that that's what people are mad about. People are mad They're mad that white people are just people, that they get to just be people, and everybody else has to be classified. Well, they're normal. Whiteness is normal. You hear it in that. You hear it when they talk about, oh, whiteness is what's considered normal, and everything else outside of it is not. But do you see how silly it is to be mad about that? Because someone told them to be mad about that. Okay? Someone told them that you're not people, that they're people, and you're a color. You see what I'm saying here? And you can totally imagine someone growing up in school and being told, hearing, oh, colored people, and that's bad because they're not emphasizing people first. And then you grow up already angry. Think about this. Already angry. Some other stuff. Your emptiness inside, the parents, the way you were raised. And someone told you to be mad at that. So someone co-opted and redirected your anger, okay? And you could totally see a young person believing that first lie, that, oh, they're people and I'm colored. I'm lesser than I'm the other. And then extrapolating every situation after that initial lie and all the mess in their lives and blaming it on that initial lie. Identity. So interesting. So thanks for that caller. I forget his name. People with dwarfism, they're trying to emphasize, but they're just mad about that they don't get to be just people, which is silly because who's supposed to tell you that? How can someone else tell you, you know? And if someone did tell you that, why would it affect you? You know what I mean? Hobbits may be smaller, yes. People first language. Oh, we got a little, Wikipedia article, spoiler alert, again, with the links in the chat. It's a Wikipedia article called People First Language. Is a type of linguistic prescription which puts a person before a diagnosis. Describing what condition a person has rather than asserting what a person is, it is intended to avoid marginalization or dehumanization, either consciously or subconsciously. So, I mean, that's one way of reading that sentence, but, another way of reading that is instead of that feeling you get inside of being offended and feeling less than people? Well, other people feel that too. So you gotta, instead of killing that in yourself and others, let's create a society that caters to that and makes it grow and just grow and grow and grow. Point in the direction that way instead of the other. That's how I read that sentence. People first language. What a mess. Big Master War Chief in the chat says, yeah, get a job, looking for a job now. You could go follow his second channel. I know the first one got deleted. Did the second one get deleted? Get a Job has always done great work making those YouTube compilations for Jesse. And it's brought a lot of people to the channel. And, YouTube, without warning, just took down his channel. But I believe he has another channel called Get a Second Job, Get a 2ND Job. So, nice, spoiler alert, in the chat with the links. Right on, sir. Yeah, he has gotten a job. In fact, he had a second job, and now I guess that's his main one. It was his second job, now it's his main one, but the channel is called Get a Second Job, 2ND Job. Shout out to Get a Job, right? Okay, so let's move on. Alabama, identity. That was fun. But before I move on, can I ask a favor of the crew outside? If you could hear me, the anchor. I'm sweating. It's hotter than I thought. I think the vent is open here, but if you could do me that solid and hit me with that 1 degree. Sorry, Jesse. Just 1 degree, massa. Please. Man, let's do this. I want to play this clip. TikTok clip went viral. It's a girl, 2 girls, and they're talking about their dad, their father. And we glean from their conversation in this clip that their father is possibly a conservative, possibly a Christian. And they do a little TikTok video where they're where they, well, they're basically reacting to their one girl's dad had basically joined a cult. According to the girl, she says, "My dad joined a cult. Let's look at some tweets that he liked," and then they start criticizing these tweets. And we come to learn the cult, quote unquote, might just be being a Christian, being conservative. Well, we're about to break this down. Let's watch this video, okay? Because there's something interesting going on here. There's something quite interesting going on here, so let's jump in. We got the video on deck. Two girls, young girls on TikTok, criticizing their dad's tweet likes and other things. Let's watch.
Hi, our dad joined a cult, and we're gonna read you some of his Twitter likes. No, ladies, none of your jobs are that important. Society would probably be more efficient if we all left the workforce tomorrow. Outside of monetizing female beauty, men can pretty much do everything better than us.
If you've slept with more than 2 men, you're officially a concubine.
An ex-husband equals
Concubine.
Young men, the world is full of flirtatious, loud, half-dressed women who would love to take your strength. Watch for them and avoid them like the plague. I don't think my dad realizes that I am a loud, flirtatious, half-dressed woman.
Instead, find a gentle and modest woman who fears God and honors her father, and marry her. If you do this, you will do well.
To be fair, most of us chicks should get off of our high horse. Even a body count of 2 or 3 would be considered horrendous in history. We're just born in a different time. Why women voting ruined society.
A 10-minute
Women
video.
voting ruins everything. Men are better than women. Tweeted by a woman.
Yep. So these are the daughters of the cult dad. Did you guys pick up on that? It sounds like he may just have. Did her dad become a JLP listener? Did her dad just become a Jesse Lee Peterson listener? And he's in the chat right now. He's in the chat on the show. And then he started liking tweets and stuff. Did her dad just join the Jesse Lee Peterson cult? But hold on, but seriously though, on a serious note, if you're not following, 2 girls talking about, one about her dad, I guess maybe both their dads. I don't know if one of them is the friend or if they're sisters. But on a serious note, aren't those some of those comments, don't they kind of sound like us? Doesn't that sound like us a little bit, y'all? Like, this is also an important demonstration of identity versus being real, okay? And this is something Joel talked about. He talked about how you have to be real. Not Jesse thumpers, knowledge or Bible thumpers, but know for real with your own words. And I like joking around, okay? Trust me. I'm fine with making jokes and spicy, edgy jokes, but sometimes we're not funny. We're doing it just for edge or snark, which is fine too. I mean, I got to criticize some of it, but you know, I will criticize the lack of funniness, right? Because that's the point of a joke. At least be funny, right? No harm in trying though. So I don't mind jokes and comedy. Oh, get in the kitchen, like whatever. But doesn't that kind of sound like some of us? Come on, guys, let's be honest. And again, back to this demonstration of identity versus being real. You know, you can imagine this dad. He's like, I'm a conservative. Maybe the daughters are reacting saying he joined a cult. Maybe he's a recent conservative, recent Christian or something. Anybody relate? Spurging out, talking about stuff that before you even know it for real. You've set the wrong example. You turn people off, turn them away. And here's one thing I will say about many people who have Jesse thumped and stuff like that. I've noticed that a lot of us, I'm going to say us because y'all know it. A lot of us, I think we notice as soon as we do it, so we don't end up doing it too much. Because we if we're really paying attention, we're like, we say something like Jesse and it hits the person wrong and we see the whole thing. We're like, this is wrong. It came off wrong. It felt wrong. I feel silly. I'm trying to be someone I'm not. And so this is really important. Identity versus being real, because their dad And of course, there's different factors. There's the mother, there's the world. You know, if someone is loving their hell, they're going to love it. They're not going to, you can't change them, right? Even a true conservative dad. But can you see what I'm seeing here, though? You know how the order's supposed to be in the home and how things are so messed up without that order. You could see someone trying to do the right thing, the order, but it comes off wrong. And your kids will still turn on you. And Jesse doesn't even sound like those things. I said us, but Jesse doesn't. He has like actual love. I don't know if you've noticed, but when he speaks to women and men, he wants the same thing for both of them. And that's evident in his speech and his calmness. So that's just my take on Jesse. But back to, like, seriously, people can see it too when you're thumping, when you're fake. People could see it. You see it. It's all silly. And I don't know about the man, right? I don't know about the dad in this case, but if this is how his daughters are reacting, they're reacting like the world to what he's saying. And you know, they brought up a couple things. Like they said, if you weren't following earlier, they're reacting to tweets that their father liked on Twitter. So I guess the account is public, and the girls got on Twitter, and you could see what you like. And so he's liking different tweets, and they're commenting on it. One of them was, society would be more efficient if all women stopped working, and none of your jobs are important, women. Get back in the kitchen. I'm adding to it. And, you know, just to correct this, it probably wouldn't. Let's be real. It probably, like, internally things might start running way smoother. You get rid of all these fake jobs, PR people, HR people, trying to please women people, diversity hires, diversity jobs. All of that will make things way more efficient. Cut the fat. But on the macro, there's going to be pain. There's going to be pain for a little bit when half the workforce is gone. If tomorrow I snap my fingers and I made them all go home and make babies or something. There's going to be pain. There's going to be pain and like, you know, when the economy just has to go down like too many % too fast and you get millions dead. Maybe we need to go through the pain so that we could be right. But just to be accurate here, I don't know if people realize what they say when they say, your jobs are not important. They're not, you know. Anyway, I'm just being nitpicky, I guess. The girl said, outside of monetizing your beauty, men are better at everything. Sorry, girls. That might be true. Sorry, girls. It's better you learn now. Do you still believe in Santa? It's better you learn now. It was, well, who was it? Who was it? It was John Zerka. You've seen him. You saw his thing on Jesse in the Fallen State. And it was, I think during that thing, he's like, pick a job. A man can do, but nurse? Tell me right now who you'd rather pick you up if you got shot right now. They talk about concubines too, like, oh, they were reacting to a tweet that the dad liked about, oh, if you had more than two or whatever, sexual partners, then you're a concubine. What the heck does that even mean? Concubine. Uh-oh, I'm getting educated on live on the show. I'm pretty sure it just means like a person that has your babies. In polygamous societies, a woman who lives with a man but has lower status than his wife or wives. Oh. Oh, dang. That actually kind of might be true. You know, you're not married and you just have it. That's how the men see you. I don't know. Sorry. I don't know. Sorry, girls. Better you learn now. If, you know, you're not getting married, you're having sex, especially with multiple partners. That's what you are, essentially. That's how he sees you. Let me tell you right now, that's how he sees you. You're just one of my concubines. Am I wrong? Tell me where I'm wrong. And they are also laughing about the tweet about this world is full of beautiful women that'll take your strength. And I wonder who like wrote that. It feels a little flowery. Like, I mean, it's true, right? But people like that, people like who speak like that, I've noticed, and I'm not saying I'm any better, but people like that usually are running from not overcoming the woman. Like Hassan says. Also, her dad married one, maybe, and that's why his daughter might be one too. You know, the daughter said, "Oh, my dad doesn't know. My dad doesn't know." As she's whispering it because she's afraid of maybe the man in the house, maybe the mother of the house, but she's whispering it in the home of the man she hates, whispering, "My dad doesn't know that I'm one of those barely clothed women." What does she say? One of these.
History.
Whoa. Are you guys hearing that?
We're just born in a different time.
I think I can fix it. I think I can fix it.
By women voting.
Nice.
Ruined.
Genius. I fixed it. That was really easy to fix. Okay.
Horrendous in history. We're just born in a different time. Why women voting ruined society.
A 10-minute
Women
video.
voting ruins everything. Men are better than women.
If you do this.
Wait, hold on. I wanted to comment on another part here.
Like, I don't think my dad realizes that I am a loud, flirtatious, half-dressed woman.
See, I don't think my dad realized that was the part. Just whispering as she goes even softer at that part. You know, there's still some fear to the father, maybe the mother. There's still a little bit of fear in the girl, but it's definitely emblematic of how turned away from the parents people are, and how messed up things are. And the parents aren't real. The conservative Christian ones aren't real, as you know. It looks like it, right? It just looks like it. And the person I got this from, this 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 person on Twitter, I don't know too much about him, but he says about this. He says, "You might think that you're raising your kids right because you have the right political, religious, and philosophical beliefs. But if you don't nurture them and spend enough time with them to fully understand your worldview, they'll turn on you for likes the first chance they get." That's probably somewhat true, right? I would take it a little bit further, like how Joel said. It's got to be real, okay? Don't just adopt someone's words. And maybe you don't know when it's real. How will you know, Nick? How do I know if it's real? When will I know? Instead of asking that question, just commit yourself to not think, not assuming that you do know. You see what I'm saying here? Like, just commit yourself to not pretending and thinking you do. And it'll be clear. And I don't know even the depths of what I'm saying there, but I know a little bit. I've seen it myself a little bit. But it will be clear. Just commit yourself not to assuming or trying to figure out the answer and all that. Am I making sense? But yeah, �𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, what was he saying here? If you don't nurture them, spend enough time with them, they'll turn on you. To understand your worldview, they'll turn on you. Yeah, like I said, I think even better, be an example. Be real. What was I going to say about this?
Flirtatious, half-dressed woman.
Marry her.
Yeah, that's
Who
it.
fears God and honors her father. And marry her.
You know, it's a shame that these girls are laughing at this tweet too. Find a gentle and modest woman who fears God and honors her father and marry her. I mean, it's just true. Now, I almost cringe a little because people just distort stuff so easily, and the Christians do this as well. So everybody says they got a woman who fears God. Like, what is that even? Where was I? That's it. You got to be real. And, this is like happening in many homes, all homes in America. It's a little more serious than you think. It's from this outset is the offshoot of so much evil and pain and just negative stuff in the country. From the outset of broken homes and even smaller, even before that, even before the divorce and the broken home, just the simple turning away from the dad, just the simple turning on the dad. Because there's one thing to have a criticism, is another to go on TikTok and go like, my dad is a cult person and I'm going to go exactly opposite to everything I'm reading on these tweets. Oh, you want a modest woman that fears God? Well, I'll be the opposite. Not out of logic, or I just simply disagree. I just see life differently. No, it's It's purely out of a disdain, a distaste, and a turning away from the Father. So it's not real. And in that very moment, you throw your life, you kind of throw your life away a bit. To varying degrees, you might say, but you kind of throw your life away. Because from this outset lie, this first lie, it's time to get over the lie. It's Joel Friday. And all the pain that comes afterwards, right? Which is also amazing. I'm sorry, I got to say this too, because it's just true. It's also amazing how quickly you could turn it around, right? You just got to go back to that first lie and turn it around. Go back, go the other way. The first lie in this case is, I hate my dad. Might be for a lot of people. And then all the other complicated things that came after that start to go away. Start to get unraveled. What else? Father knows best. Yes. Okay. Let us move on here. Let us move on. Let's see what else. This is what we'll do. I want to do this video on the chili conspiracy. The algorithm fed me a video of the chili conspiracy. I'm telling you, I'm getting vindicated left and right. It's real. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have this little theory. A little theory that's not based on any statistics, any historical documents. It's mainly based on how badly all of you guys reacted to it. And now I'm just digging in even harder. I'm digging in my heels. I'm just digging in even harder. And I'm full on confirmation bias at this point. Cherry picking videos. And what's my theory? Essentially, that spice, chilies, capsaicin, hot peppers, although they add a kick and a flavor to the food that we enjoy, there's another side to it. I think it was also used to make horribly, not normally palatable food palatable. And we traditionally keep these dishes around. And I don't know about us, but some of these other cultures keeping these dishes around out of a callback to those harder times, but they're not exactly good. They're not exactly good. And they're always really just drenched in chili oil and chili this and chili that. I like spices. Okay, don't get me wrong. But I'm telling you, some of these traditional stuff is not. Let's not import this, okay? You know what I'm saying? Look at this video. It might be gross if you get squeamish at seeing weird critters being eaten and weird foods and stuff. You might not want to watch this. But here we have what looks like a lizard gecko something. And we have a man preparing them. Let's watch another video bolstering my chili theory, my chili conspiracy. This was one of the best ones, okay? This is one of the best ones I've had so far, come to me so far. Now, you may disagree, but that's just going to make me go harder. Is that logical? Probably not. Let's get some sound on this video, right, y'all? Let's get some sound on this clip. If you're squeamish, don't look. It's gross. It's not bloody. But maybe you don't like seeing lizards and weird food. Let's watch the video. Oh, might be loud. Let me save you, some of you headphone users. My apologies. Let's watch this video. Scrape it. Oh, okay. We got him all prepared. Chili alert. Chili, as you can see, lots of chili. Red chili. Grill them up. Mmm, so good. Lizard, so good. Lizard, so good. Mmm, yes. You gotta get the brush. You gotta get the chili sauce, barbecue sauce brush, okay? You gotta get that. And then, of course, a pile of another, on top of all the chili sauce on your gecko lizards, you gotta be outside eating in the dirt. And you gotta have a pile of chilies, raw chili peppers in front of you to eat with your hot, so you can nuke your mouth and you may survive another night so that you and your family can live another night. Ivana says, wait, this might be kind of good. She might be reacting to the crunch. And I will admit, crunch makes everything sound a lot more appetizing. I will not lie. I would be a liar if I said it wasn't the case here. Crunch, crispy. You know, crispy is one of the major food groups. Crispy, it goes crispy, salty, sweet. I forget the rest of the food groups. You guys will tell me. But I don't know about you, Ivana. I don't know about you, Ivana. I don't know about any. I don't care how crispy they are. Am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong now. You guys believe me now about the chili conspiracy, right? They're trying to make us like these immigrant dishes. No, okay, I'm just playing now. But what you guys got to now? You guys believe me about my conspiracy, right? Now you believe me, right? Okay, the crunch on that pepper is quite satisfying. Wow. So you heard it here. Maybe first, some of you heard it first here. Maybe you're hearing it again. But I'm digging in. I'm digging in harder. And just when I was about to give up my identity, my identification with this theory here, just when I was about to give that up, Twitter fed me this video. And I knew I was right. I just knew I was right. I just got done talking about that too. I just got done talking about thinking that you're right. The chili sauce. Okay, I got you. Ban all crunchies. What the? But that's one of the major food groups. Crispy, salty, sweet. What's the food pyramid again? Right? Crispy. I think bacon. You know the pyramid, the food pyramid. We did it in school. Chile con lizard. What's up, being enlightened till I rise? Spoiler alert over there on Rumble. Nice. N.M. McLean, The Hake Report. Everybody over there on Rumble, thanks for supporting me. You can check, if you want to support on Rumble, Rumble Rant on Rumble, watch on Rumble, chat on Rumble, support rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Thank you. Yeah, what's up, Arid C? Welcome. Thank you for tuning in today. I'm in the chat, Bird, but you can call in if you'd like, 888-775-3773. We're taking calls, too. We got plenty of show, plenty of calls. Well, maybe not plenty of calls. Plenty of show, and all of you. We have all of you here with me today. You know what I want to do now? We had our silly fun with the chili conspiracy. Let's do some real news. Let's do some real news. Let's do this, because you know who is taking the heat like a man? Ooh, got you a little segue there. You know who is taking the heat like a man? Oh, what's up? You know who is taking the heat like a man? I'm trying to do... Viewers, sorry. What's up, man? Let me just say hi to some... Hey, how you doing? We had some lovely people come to church the other day from Greece, and they're watching me right now do my show, and it's a little meta right now. We got like 2 different audiences going right now, and I'm talking to all of them. So it was a nice meeting you guys. Take care. But yes, you know who's taking the heat? That's a nice segue. You know what else is a nice segue? You know who else is being a real man? I'll go with the first one. Trump, of course. Trump, of course. So there's a notion, it's been around for a bit now, and it's the of course he lost notion, the time to move on vibe. Yes, 2020, blah, 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 but it's time to move on. Yes, this or that, however you land on that. Oh, it was shenanigan. It was schmolen, or it was legit and he lost, or it was a hybrid. It was a little bit of this, but it's time to move on. And that's kind of the vibe. It's time to move on. And some of that has been is demonstrated in the DeSantis campaign. He's kind of touted. That kind of spirit is behind him too. There was all this money. I'm rehashing old news, but there was all this money. These big conservative think tanks with a bunch of money. They basically flipped on Trump, moved their money over to DeSantis, and there's other sort of signs and different moments that have pointed to that spirit being behind DeSantis, that he's supposed to be like Trump, but not Trump. He's like Trump, but not 2020. He's like Trump, but not carrying the J6 baggage. But that same spirit is I think, in all the primary Republican candidates. Tim Scott, that same vibe is kind of being expressed and demonstrated in all of them, in my opinion, at varying degrees. I think Ron is the least. He's the closest to Trump. And so there's a clip going around where they ask him about a Trump 2020, and he says, of course he lost, says Ron in this interview here, in this NBC exclusive. DeSantis one-on-one. We'll watch the clip here because that's what people are saying. That he said he lost, and they're not only that, but they're criticizing that he would say that. I mean, and they're going hard on old Ron DeSantis, the meatball Ron. They call him that. I don't call him that. And can't tilt Ron. They're going after him. They're going after the guy. Is it fair? Let's watch. Let's watch before we make a comment here.
Yes or no, did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election?
Whoever puts their hand on the Bible on January 20th every 4 years is the winner.
Okay, but respectfully, you did not clearly answer that question. And if you can't give a yes or no on whether or not Trump lost, then how can...
Of course he lost.
Trump lost the 2020 election.
Of course.
Okay.
Joe Biden's the president. But the issue is, I think, what people in the media and elsewhere, they want to act like somehow this was just like the perfect election.
Governor
Yeah, see? So you guys, okay. Let me say, see, why do you guys got to go so hard on Ron? That wasn't that bad. He's saying, of course he lost. Traitor. You guys, in this particular clip, come on. We don't have to go that hard on poor Ron. He's had enough, guys. He's had enough from the public and from us. Don't go so hard on him. That wasn't like a disavowal of Trump. And he even threw that in at the end. He said, look, why are we pretending like this was the most perfect election? Those are, in my opinion, those are some crazy comments from Ron DeSantis. I would never say such a thing. But right? He was trying to play it easy. He was trying to play it chill, right? Not trying to bring up an attack. But they dragged it out of him, forcing him to say, yeah, Joe Biden is the president. And he is. Joe Biden is the president. And he's not lying there. I mean, don't you see Trump reacting in a similar way, like kind of like the Proud Boys thing when he said, oh, I disavow the Proud Boys. I don't know who they are. It was a halfway. Come on. It wasn't that bad. No need to go hard on him. And he at least brought a little question at the end, which is a question a large amount of Americans have. And you can't have a stable country and elections and all that when you have all the... I'm not saying that it's true or not, but these people believe it is. Wouldn't you want to be transparent and fix that? All right, y'all. We're the government. I'm government, and, we're here for you. Okay, you guys believe it's not up and up. We're here for you. We're working for you. We're trying to make things stable and easy because it's for the people, and us, too. We're included in the people, us, the government. We should all want the same thing. Let's open it up, investigate, and figure it out. Let's see what happened. Let's get down to it. So, right on, Ron DeSantis. I don't think that was... Because you got to understand, he's at least leaving a little space to investigate and all that. Everybody else is like, no, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Shut up talking about it. It's bad for the polls. Americans don't want a referendum of 2020. If this is a referendum, if 2024 is a referendum, a redo of 2020, then we're going to lose. That's the mentality, okay? And that's Tim Scott. That's everybody else. And so there's one particular person who doesn't think that Trump is taking it like a man. He's not taking the heat like a man. And his name's 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. And I like Pedro. I like Pedro a lot. He's been on the JLP show. He's very smart. And lately he's been very critical of Trump, and I enjoy it. I like it. I like the steel sharpens steel. I like that DeSantis is running. I like it. I like it. And I like Pedro. He's a smart guy. I like his commentary on stuff. It's very thought-provoking. And he made a little commentary on Twitter. How's your little commentary? Already I'm throwing shade. 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 on Twitter just yesterday on his take on Trump. A certain take on Trump. He's saying, confronted with all the statements of Trump personnel saying that they knew he lost in 2020, MAGA pundits went from J6 was a nothing burger and it's ridiculous that Trump would try to overturn to Trump had every right to overturn an election he lost. It's a combination. I'm reading what Pedro wrote. It's a combination of people lying to get their audience because their meal ticket depends on Trump's continued relevance, and people who have simply convinced themselves it's true and nothing will change their mind. And he goes on. It's a lot longer, but I'll comment on some things here. Let me get to the like a man part. He says, he calls the J6 a riot. He calls that, 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 says, January 6th was a riot, a costly grift. It wasn't an insurrection, he says, but these people are actually arguing that Trump was right to try to overturn it, despite the fact his team acknowledged losing, and couldn't prove it. This is what he's saying. And that's unclear, too, because that's the claim is, if I can bring some light to this, the claim is that in the indictment that Jack Smith, there's levels, okay? You got to peel it back. It's such BS because they try and confuse you with this and that indictment, 33 counts and blah, blah, blah. But Jack Smith indicted Trump, and he's basically saying that Trump's attempt to overturn anything, despite him knowing that he couldn't, and his proof for his knowledge, his prior knowledge to not knowing was comments between him and his staff about this alleged knowledge. But I don't know how you could prove that. It's all this lawyer gobbledygook. So if you just didn't know, you can look at the details yourself. So back to �𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. Here it is. If Trump had conceded, he could be running again without the stain of January 6th, and it would be more or less smooth sailing against Biden. Just run on his record. But he didn't do that, and the MAGA mouthpieces are incapable of criticizing him. Any reasonable person knows that if Trump had accepted the outcome like a man, things would be radically better for him, certainly as he seeks re-election. But the people who have hitched their wagons to Trump aren't reasonable or normal, and they have infected their audience/followers with brain worms for the show to go on. And I want to comment on this because Pedro's speaking on a notion that's kind of floating around. It's time to move on. Should have taken the loss like a man and all that. And I realized something. Well, before that, I want to say, I love the criticism. It's true. Many Trump mouthpieces and people around him and all that, just yes men, and just, they don't really know they don't know that they know that they know. They're not real. Like I was talking about, like Joel was talking about. They don't know that they know that they know. They're just mouthpieces. This is true. What Pedro's saying here about really is more like us and the supporters and all that. I think a lot of those criticisms are very interesting and worth looking at and reflecting on your own life, okay? Grifting and being way too into stuff and not able to handle a criticism about it. That kind of stuff. But he says, any reasonable, normal person knows that if Trump had accepted the outcome like a man, things would be radically better for him. But how do you know that? I don't think maybe Pedro doesn't realize. Maybe Pedro doesn't realize that every the public sector, the private sector, every institution has turned on Trump. And I can't think of anyone else who is taking that kind of heat. You're telling me that he was getting all this heat in 2016, they would just let up all of a sudden? They're just going to let up all of a sudden. You're the one man who's come to represent us, really, it's us and him, to represent us and stand against, decades of endless wars, rhinos, increasing the debt. Both sides get rich and they laugh at the taxpayers. Nothing changing. Immigration, both sides saying, we got to change something about immigration, but it's worse every year. Crime. And one man stands in front of all that, and you're telling him they're gonna go easy on him if he just conceded and took the loss on the chin like a man. Here's what I realized about this, because they want to paint this picture that the public is so ready to support him, but it's this January 6th stuff is just too much. This election stuff, it's just too much. I'm with there. I want to support Trump. I want the country to be saved. But this is just too much for me. It's too icky. It's making me feel bad. It's making me look bad around people. There might be some truth to that. But I think most people aren't there. Honestly. I think your average person isn't there. Your average person just wants things to run better. They see what's going on. And then there's, they see what's going on in general, most people. And then there's Trump's base, the voters, Republicans and varying degrees of that, who understand what I'm talking about on a deeper level, right? They see the spiritual side of it sometimes and all that stuff. Now, we may not know fully, but we have an idea that there are multiple facets of corruption in society at different levels and at different places and at different amounts and different people. It's kind of a little complex. We want Trump because we trust him with that. It might be silly to in my opinion, it's a little silly to make this fight about that, a referendum on 2020, when I don't think most people want that. And this is not to throw shade or take away from whatever force or momentum is behind trying to find out whatever happened, in 2020. Because, even Joe Rogan is thinking about it, all right? Come on. Hey, even Joe Rogan has questions. So, not to take away anything from that, but to make 2024 about that, I think is not only foolish for those who think it is about that, but it's maybe somewhat about that. But it's like I said, we all see it's multiple things here, and we just trust this. We just trust this guy, this man, to have the right, the right spirit in overall on all these things. You follow me? So it's silly to make it about 2024, and I think some people, in my opinion, there's some forces, some people in the Republican Party and in general who want to make it about 2020 because for evil reasons. For evil reasons, to make people think about things that are not that important to them. Right? That's just kind of my thinking about it. Pedro saying, oh, if he had just accepted it like a man, he'd just be fine, and 2024 would be a shoo-in. But that's also that's also turning his back on the people who have questions. So, like I said, I think your average person isn't thinking, 2024 is a referendum on 2020. We're going to, it's all about shenanigans. They took it. It's shenanigans. 2024 is about rectifying that. If you do, I think making it about that, it may be folly, and it might be strategically positive for Trump's enemies. You follow me here? Am I making sense? I got Justin from California on the air. Appreciate your call. Hey, Justin, California, you're on the air.
Oh, hello?
Hey, what's up, Justin?
Hi. Oh, yeah, hey, I was thinking that it's really the little boy, Pence, Vice President Pence, because he wasn't a man and he did not stand up as, America's number two, Trump's top G. He didn't stand up and take care of his due diligence and at least have something recertified. It wasn't like it was a conspiracy theory. It was the American people that were everywhere, and all they had to do was have recertified, right?
Which
So
I
if
heard, and I don't know. I heard
Yeah.
that's in the. Is this true that it's in the there are pathways in the Constitution, etc., for what you're talking about?
Oh, in the Constitution, correct. Yeah, that's why it was in place for that to be done. Like, let's say, for instance, when Trump became president the first time in 2016, and everyone said, no, that were the Democrats because they were out of power and Obama was gone. And they said, this is, you know, they're all, you know, in their
Yeah, they all
thoughts,
called him
they're saying,
illegitimate president for not only 2016, but for
Right.
years.
Okay, so we got to say, you know, Biden didn't challenge anything, fine, but if, you know, as vice president, he didn't do that, it didn't mean Trump's VP Pence couldn't have. And instead, he took it like a little boy, and he said, no, I'm going to do what I'm told, and maybe better for his career, you know, independent from Trump. He distanced himself. And, you know, yeah, Vivek Swamy or whatever, he's pretty good. DeSantis is also probably like a vice president material. But I don't see anyone else that's like a president other than Trump.
So true.
In 2020.
Yeah, so true. I feel the same way. I just can't see it in anyone else.
I mean, Biden could be a vice president, fine. All these people, they're certified vice president. Who else can challenge Trump?
Biden might be
any vice president.
Biden might, if Biden was Trump's VP, that might be the best VP ever. You know, because everybody turns on Trump. All the Republicans turn on him. His own VP turned on him. It's time to get one. It's time to get the dementia guy from the other side. You might do better. You might be better off.
Well, he tried to unite the country.
Trump
and he's
Biden
not doing a good
2024.
job.
Say again.
No, that's ridiculous.
What were you saying?
Because you got Biden would never switch over, even though he's very conservative.
True.
I mean, he's more embroiled in corruption, and he likes to do cocaine in the office with his son. And
well, we don't know that.
Donald J. Trump doesn't do that. And
we don't know that.
Also, what we don't know is that, you know, well, let's say this, that the election was stolen. We don't know that.
We don't know that.
There was. We don't know that either. I mean, if it's not too terrible to consider the notion that there was an FBI plant that was there.
You can have your questions, but there are also robots. I don't know if you're aware, but there are robots on the cloud that are attuned to certain words. So just
robots?
You know, they call them algorithms. They call them algorithms, and they listen for certain words like schmleck and schmolen. So if you could do the channel, if you could do the channel a solid.
I'll tell you.
But you could talk about what you're talking about. Go on.
So yeah, I would say that there's probably probably a lot of suppression out there still ongoing. You know, once this regime releases its power, people will be not homeless. People will not be, you know, in mental states where they're very erratic. They're going to have support. There's going to be a lot of people housed. I mean, Trump's got great plans. I don't see anyone else talking about great plans for the future.
Yeah.
He's going to open up the asylums again. He's talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. But I mean, literally, he's thinking about it, and he's talking about going against the cartel, put them in their place. You know, because they're bringing people over, as I said before, with weapons. The cartel brings children over, and that's allegedly too. But do your own research and see that. You know.
Right. We wouldn't allow any other foreign army to do what the cartel does. It's crazy. That being said, I don't even know if I'm right about what I even said there. But you know what I mean.
Well,
if it was a foreign nation's army doing what the cartel was doing today, that wouldn't be allowed.
Do you remember Eric Holder? Under Obama?
Under Obama, he's the guy he's not the guy with the Antifa book. No, Hake already taught me this.
ATF, pretty close. The ATF. So people in the chat might remember. But yeah, basically he and Obama and Eric Holder were running weapons to the cartel.
Right.
They found the U.S. the weapons that they got were from us. So
Operation Fast and Furious.
Operation Fast and Furious, but we don't want to talk about that. But there's a lot of things that people are thinking we're embroiled with something. We're sleeping with the enemy, and that's to be really thought through. Like, how come? If we can stop nuclear weapons from coming here, we can shoot down weather balloons, you know, from China or whatever. And we see aliens all the time. We're very astute and very attuned to what's going on. Why can they not block human trafficking, drugs, or prevent weapons from the United States being in the hands of the enemy. The
They don't want to.
They are an enemy.
Yeah, because they don't want to.
They don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to. So they're in bed with them. So therefore, we are with a not conspiracy, but like a fact of the matter. To conspire would be a word, but with a foreign country, the Bidens are not just with the Ukraine and China. They are with the cartel. Let that be known. They are with the communists, yeah, but they're with the cartel, and that's where they have a way of infiltration. Is they partner up with very, very violent and evil organizations, and America has a history, and it has never had a nuclear weapon come through. But yet, I'm saying you can just let little weapons get and drugs get here, and human trafficking and all of that. You can let that occur. That to me means someone's looking a blind eye. Someone's getting paid off. There is corruption in the White House, and it's not just the cocaine. It's a lot of things that they do that they get from the South, and it's now infiltrating our. I mean, think about if Mexico had a president and their son doing drugs in their organization, that would be number one news. It's not. It's not even in their country, but it's in our country.
Right.
Like, that means we're way into it. It's. I wouldn't be surprised if the cartel is not running the White House.
It's crazy, man. There's definitely all sorts of. It's like what's it called? It just seems like the treasure's up for grabs. You know what I mean? It's the coffers are open in America, and everybody's it's a mad grab, up for grabs. What can I get?
Pirates and pilfering going on, yeah. So
big time.
I would say we need a leader, and we need a man. We need someone who's going to stand up, and that would be
and not a baby.
Donald J. Trump. Not a baby, no.
Right on, Justin, man. Thanks for your call. Right on.
Right on.
Call me again. Oh, sorry about that, man. Moving the wheels. Yeah, we need a man, not a baby. How's a man going to call himself a baby? I got some super chats, and I didn't read them earlier. My apologies. You guys have been supporting the show, and I'm sitting here just talking, and not acknowledging. Thank you. From Renesio, who says, I'm an American ankle baby also, but I prefer to be an anchor man. Right on, man. You don't want to be a baby. Lin Yen Chin with the super chat says, the Christian path of pooping requires relaxation to let the emotional constipation slide out, or intellect will eclipse your humanity, sanity, or sapience. Merry Christmas, 𝒏𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒎. You know what, Lin Yen Chin? He's always speaking in parables. This may be the first time that I understood your reference to defecation in your super chats. How could I be so dumb? How did I never realize? You always talk about an emotional constipation, and you always threw me for a loop when you talked about pooping. It just clicked. This must be like in the Bible, like the man the scales fell from his eyes and he could see. I suddenly understand you. You're literally letting the emotional constipation out. That's what you mean by pooping. Meaning letting go of the emotions. Dang, Lin Yen Chin, thank you for the support. Appreciate that. Jabrail NTP with the super chat there. Lin Yen Chin comes back to back with another super, says, cringing leaves one open for decapitation via random terrorist genie in a bottle. Don't do it, 𝒏𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍�. I'm going to have to smoke on that one, Lin Yen Chin. Maybe the Lord will reveal that one day. Spoiler alert with the super chat says, none of mainstream U.S. politics is real. It's exactly analogous to professional wrestling, just loosely scripted storylines and characters. Yeah, and you don't even get Vince McMahon. It's boring. You're so right. Right on. It's true, Carver. The poop fell from my eyes and I could see. Silly. Very silly, but still true. What's up, Lord Bibby? Thank you for joining in. I see you there. Dan, Stephen Will, Kevin Howe, Will Cole, Scott Starboy. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope all is well. Santino JS, what's up? Okay. What's next? What is next? What shall we do now? Let me do calls. Mark, California, you're on the air. Thanks for your call.
How you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, Mark. Welcome.
Thanks, sir. I wanted to start off by saying, in regards to COVID, I know that this issue's been beat down, but I just want to remind everybody that if you think back when Trump was president, the commie Democrats had to find a way to beat him. Besides, and I'm not going to go there other than to say, I'm just saying that they went to their Chinese masters and asked for them for help. And this is my opinion.
Gotcha.
And they started the COVID thing. And that's why they restricted voting and all that went with it. And it was similar to what happened in World War II. When the American public, the parallel would be this. You had a Democrat as president, Roosevelt at that time, and he wanted to go to war with Germany. So what he did, he knew the Japs were going to attack Pearl Harbor, and he let it happen. And he let 3,000 Americans die so they could side with a bunch of communist criminals and white haters against a man who loved our race and hated communism. And the only reason we went to war in World War II was because of Pearl Harbor. It was something that could have been avoided, but they sacrificed 3,000 lives in order to defeat Hitler. The same thing, the parallel, in my view, with Trump, as far as these demon rats are concerned, Trump is Hitler, and they'll use any method to defeat him, even if it costs American lives. And the COVID scare was their weapon of choice.
A false flag event, right? That's what you're referring to.
I'm sorry?
A false flag event, right?
Yes.
A military, basically they're not being quite honest. A military event happens, and that's used as the justification for following military actions. But the premise wasn't quite like you're describing yourself. You're saying Roosevelt knew of the Pearl Harbor, in advance of this attack coming, but out of wanting the American public, because maybe people don't know that mostly Americans, from what I read, Americans did not want to join World War II. The public did not want this.
No.
But after Pearl Harbor, after an attack on American soil, blah, 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 that changed pretty quickly.
Yeah, and historically, for the record, Hitler was furious with the Japanese for attacking Pearl Harbor. He didn't want war with America. He tried to make peace with America. And also, Hitler and the Germans never attacked America. For the record, we should put that out there.
Now, how do you know? And I'm not saying I disagree, but how do you know this? Because I think a lot of people maybe hearing this right now may have never heard some of this, and they'll Google it.
Are you talking about
the Pearl Harbor advanced knowledge specifically?
Oh, that's been known for. I heard about that 30 years ago.
Yes.
I don't have any way to actually prove it to you.
Fair enough.
But if you could research it, you'll find that it's true. And a lot of these communist scum that are out here today, they would take pride in saying, yeah, he knew it, so what? Because they hate America. And Roosevelt was no hero. I mean, he really was not a hero. And his wife, Eleanor, from what I've heard, was a communist, or at least a communist sympathizer. She supported the civil rights movement back in the 40s. And don't forget, the civil rights movement started in the 1920s. The Communist Party was the first political party to adopt the civil rights plank in 1928. And the Democrats took up the mantle in 1948 when they supported a civil rights bill. And the white Southerners walked out. Strom Thurmond and some of the others who were opposed to this evil, they walked out. They didn't even want to be part of it. Now it's ingrained into the laws of our country, all unconstitutional. All of it's unconstitutional. It violated the 10th Amendment to states' rights. But we're not supposed to think about that. So the parallel is the Democrats will play dirty to defeat anybody who doesn't go with their evil agenda, and eventually that evil agenda will end up with genocide against whites. That's the whole thing. And the two men who could have saved us, or can't, well, Trump still can, at least for a short period of time, if he is elected, he can stop the onslaught at the border and the vicious crime wave that's all over. And I think he's our last hope. If you look at the kids today, if you look at these protesters, these communist protesters, and you listen to what these demons say, and think back to when we had segregated schools and how different it was and how better it was to what we have today, what diversity, this toxic term that they use, all it means is kill whitey. When you really look at what diversity is, that's all it means. And if you listen to these devils, they just sound like Satan himself. And I saw a clip of a New York protest. I think it was last weekend when they had that riot in New York over a giveaway of some sort. They were talking to a couple of the demonstrators, and it was like three nasty white women with some nasty black guy talking about how they wanted to tear the system down and make it like a communist-style system. To them, the U.S. Constitution was just a worthless piece of paper written by a bunch of old white men. This is how they view the Constitution.
Wow.
And they don't publicly state that. You're not going to get Chuck Schumer or Biden to say that publicly. Sure. At least not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
But it's probably going to come if those demons are still alive in a few more years. So, be on guard. We're under attack. They're trying to take out the greatest hope we have, and that will be our demise. I just hope I don't live long enough to see this happen, because it's coming. Look at South Africa, and you'll see our
I don't
future.
even disagree because I don't see anything in the way. It's a shame, really. How do you know? Let me ask you this, too, because, like I said, there's people in the chat who probably never heard some of what you're saying. If you could say, I guess, a little bit more on how you know. I know it's your opinion, but you're saying this about the false flag and COVID. If you could say how you know that, just to help people out. If you can.
Okay, with COVID, with the COVID thing, we know now that Dr. Fauci was a liar. They were funding those Chinese labs in Wuhan, and it was.
But those labs, that was never settled, was it?
Well, no, because the Democrats.
That Fauci was that the NIH under Fauci at the time had been funding stuff over there. Yeah, that was true, right?
Right.
But was it gain of function and was it all that?
That's it.
That's
yes.
what the fight was about.
Yeah, and they tried to lie about it, and Fauci lied. He said that it was a bat or something like that at a wet market, some ridiculous lie. And then after the Republicans took Congress and they researched it, investigated, no, it was purposefully done. These labs exist in the Ukraine as well. Our government knows about it, and they're allowing it to happen. They're going to try to bring a COVID, and this is, again, my opinion. I think they're going to try to initiate another COVID-style situation in this country with the election coming next year. I've been hearing that. I can't, substantiate it, but it's believable to me. It's believable because Biden's behind in the polling. I think Trump's going to beat all these bogus indictments. I really do.
Yeah.
I think at least with the document case, that's got to go to the Supreme Court, because how in the world can they convict him on documents when he had the Presidential Records Act, which allowed him to classify or declassify and possess those documents in Mar-a-Lago? He had Secret Service protection for those documents, where you had a criminal, Biden and Pence, who's scum. Pence is the scum of the earth. They both have documents, and they're not being prosecuted. Pardon?
I said, dang, going hard on Pence.
Oh, no, but have you heard what Pence has been saying?
Yeah, I saw that, played that the other day. I mean, even if you thought that, to get all for clout, to get on your high horse and be like, no president who's essentially had questions, should ever be president again or something like that.
Yeah, he's a fool. I think he's down to 1%. He's down there with Christie and Asa Hutchinson and these other bozos.
Is this just me? Question. Tell me what you think, Mark, because maybe this is my ignorant, maybe, I haven't been around for that many elections. But does it feel like, maybe I'm being a little bit fantastical here, but does it feel like they're like, the parties are running tests. You know what I mean? Like Tim Scott, he's the Republican that's kind of MAGA, but he's still black. Don't worry, and he's against slavery. And now Ron, he's a little bit more wild, kind of like Trump, but he's not with the J6. Doesn't it feel like they're testing out different flavors here? See what'll stick, or is that just me?
No, I agree with what you're saying. But the only ones that have been consistent, in other words, the only ones who have said, that the J6ers, some of them, if not all of them, were railroaded. 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎 and DeSantis.
We like Vivek,
but when
though,
you go,
right?
Pardon me?
We like Vivek, though, right?
Yeah.
He's pretty base,
Hindu,
but also he's not a
Christian.
threat, and that's why I like him.
I like him too. I just hope he's not pulling a fast one on us. But I would, I like him so far. He's a Hindu. So
right.
He's not a Christian.
No.
But
I'm not going to vote for him, but I like the conversation.
Yes. Now, Tim Scott, you mentioned Tim Scott.
This comment, you had a question for me, and then we'll move on. Sorry, go ahead. Tim Scott.
Well, the thing about Tim Scott was that in an interview with Tucker Carlson, Tucker said, well, are you going to deport these illegal aliens that have been breaking into our country? He wouldn't answer the question. I forget what his deflection was, but he would not directly answer the question. And Tucker responded by saying, well, if you deport them, you could just wave bye to them, because you got the right to do it. And you know what Tim Scott said? He tried to make a joke out of it. He goes, well, I'll hire you to wave goodbye to them. You see, that's stupid. It was a stupid thing to say, and it tells me that he won't answer a direct question in regards to illegal immigration. And he was also said something
about the birthright. He also counter-signaled the whole notion of ending birthright citizenship. And I take issue with that because I know I'm an anchor baby, but I'm not pro anchor baby. And he's out here saying that he questions the constitutionality of ending birthright citizenship. He's saying that we need a whole amendment to what? Essentially correct what was a misinterpretation of the 14th Amendment. He's saying we need a whole new amendment, basically counter-signaling the whole momentum behind ending birthright citizenship, which is a good thing.
Well, he could do, if he was president, he could do it with an executive order.
Yeah.
And then let the commies take him to court and see where it goes. Because the 14th Amendment was installed to protect Negro slaves that had just been freed. Right. It had nothing to do with illegal immigration. There was no illegal immigration in 1868 or whenever they put the 14th Amendment in. There was no problem with this anchor baby issue. So it was a misinterpretation or an outright lie by Brennan, Judge Brennan, who's passed away. He was the Supreme Court justice. He's the patron saint of anchor babies. It was his decision to allow any creature that crosses our border to have a kid, and the kid becomes a citizen.
I need Judge Brennan. You know those Catholic candles, and they have the saints?
Yes.
I need one of that Judge Brennan.
Well, he was a commie, if you're interested. His daughter, or not daughter, I think it's his granddaughter, is Margaret Brennan. He's my patron saint.
Sorry, go on.
Well, yeah, Margaret Brennan, the woman who does Face the Nation on Sundays. I believe she's a rabid leftist. I believe that she is the granddaughter of this Brennan character. I'm not sure who appointed Brennan.
I think I'm getting images of her as I Google her. Google the father. Mark, you said you had a question for
Brennan.
me?
Well, I was just going to ask you, besides Trump, who would be your second pick for in the Republican primary? After I assume your first pick would be Trump.
Of course. So but you know what? Your question here is revealing to me I think maybe it's my immaturity or lack of foresight, because I didn't even consider anyone besides Trump. And I just don't know. I don't know if I have an answer to your question.
Well, I've thought about it myself, and my second pick would probably be DeSantis.
Right.
You know, because he's actually shown us that he will take action. You know, and he had some he was very brave when he talked about slavery and putting in into the history books how slavery actually benefited black people.
That's true.
They don't want to say that because they're beating us over the head with it.
I really like that he did that.
Pardon me?
I like that he did that. I agree.
Yeah, DeSantis would probably be my second pick. I kind of wish that he wouldn't have ran, you know, this time for president. Not that I don't like him, but I think he should wait a while and let Trump do a second term because DeSantis is fairly young. And, you know, if he could wait his turn, we're assuming Trump will win in 24, that maybe DeSantis would have been good for 28. And as far as Vivek Ramaswamy, I would like to see him be Trump's VP.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying pretty base stuff. Like before anybody else was, he was saying let's end the Department of Education and like we're talking entrenched institutions. He's saying bye. I thought it was cool.
Right. Well, I mean, I can't understand. Maybe you could explain it to me. Why did Trump pick Pence as
I don't
VP?
know. I mean, I don't know why he would have looked like a bad candidate at the time either. I just don't know.
Well, the other person I like, she's not running. Oh, yeah, but the other one is Carrie Lake. I think she should play. If Trump wins, I would love to see her in a cabinet position. You know, maybe Secretary of State or something like that. Because Carrie Lake is outstanding. And I believe that she actually won in Arizona. It took, 3 or 4 days for them to come out with the results against a moron named Katie Hobbs.
And is Katie Hobbs the current?
Yeah, she's a dummy. I mean, I saw a thing on
I don't
the
know
internet.
anything about that. I don't know anything about that.
Well, it's just that she won't even talk to her reporter. Katie Hobbs is the devil. I mean, she's Biden, you know. Did you see where Biden has been trolling Trump?
Last thing, Mark. Did I see what?
No, I was just going to say, did you happen to see where Biden, the guy who hasn't been seen in almost 2 weeks, he's been hiding in his basement again, talking crap about Trump, you know, kind of like in between his words, he's admitting that he's the one that's pushing these indictments on Trump. I can't quote him.
What do you mean?
You know,
it was like an interview or something he did recently?
Well, no. It showed Biden in the White House or wherever he was sitting, maybe in his basement, drinking a cup of coffee, laughing about these indictments. This is just like yesterday or something, just very, very recently. And he was making jokes, but he was trolling Trump. Basically, what he was trying to say is, yeah, I'm the one pushing these indictments. But he didn't say it in those words.
Gotcha.
He said it in legalese.
I'll have to check it out myself. I'll have to check it out myself, Mark, and make my own conclusion on that one. But interesting.
Trump's lawyers are going after him. Yeah, his lawyers are going after him.
Well, Trump is his main opponent. Really, it's just it's like you're saying, communist state. It's full on.
Yes, it's a third world. We're becoming a third world country. I mean, when in American history did a presidential candidate, or actually a president, go after his opponent who's leading him and put him in jail? Although Trump's not in jail, that's what they're working on.
Absolutely.
When in American history has that ever happened?
From what I'm told, never. But Mark, I have to move on. I appreciate your call, man.
Okay.
And I told you know what? I appreciate your call sincerely.
God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks again. Call me again, Mark. Dang, man, it's crazy. It's just it's this, it's that, but it's true. And that's why we vote. And that's why we're still rolling with Trump. And maybe if it's my immaturity, I haven't even considered a second candidate. It's not that I'm not aware of them. I'm aware of Ron DeSantis and all that. But maybe it's my circle the wagons mentality, which may be wrong. I'll admit it may be wrong. But I don't know. I see it. It's world v. Trump, aka world versus us. You know, he's representing us. And I see, I'm probably wrong about this, and I enjoy the competition. I enjoy that these people are running. But I see them. I see Ron and all these other candidates. They're with them. This is us, and they're with, which is probably wrong of me, right? This is tribal. This is probably what happened in Alabama and caused that whole fight. But this is why I haven't even considered a candidate besides Trump, because it's us and that's them, and that's part of their group, and they don't like us. Who's us? Us is Trump and the people. Them is the establishment and the Republicans and the rhinos and the children of the lie. But let's see what's next. What shall we do now? Mark from California is my favorite caller, says spoiler alert with a super chat. Thank you for the support. Yes. Yes, thank you for the support, spoiler alert. We enjoy all our callers here. We enjoy Mark's call, right? We like Mark. I got Bradley, first time caller out of Illinois. You're on the air. Thank you, sir.
Well, if patience isn't a virtue, Nick.
It sure is, and I believe you're a virtuous man. I believe I'm speaking to that virtuous man.
How are you today, Nick?
I'm fine, Bradley. Thank you for your call. First time caller, too.
Oh, what a beautiful thing that is, Nick.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so things are good, huh?
Yeah, all is well. No complaints. And, I'm getting first time callers on my show. It's a nice thing.
How many you get so far today?
I think 2, maybe 1.
2, maybe 1.
I think I got 1. You?
Yeah. I just want to say, man, do I appreciate. What was his name? Justin?
Yes, Fullerton.
Justin, thank you for your call. It was very informative. I thought it was very nice of him to share his knowledge with us and his experience, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. All you should know for yourself. Do make your own conclusions, but we do appreciate the info. Many of my callers are very knowledgeable. They may not always be right, but they have a lot of info. Hey, Bradley.
Yeah, what's going on?
Still got you there, man? I'm not hearing you.
Hello, Nick. This
Bradley, I got you back.
How we doing today?
Bradley, I got you back. I was just commenting. I was just saying that we appreciate the
callers. I heard you loud and clear. I was being quiet for myself, mister.
Oh, no problem. Doing a little silent prayer.
I'm sorry?
Doing a little silent prayer?
You know,
a little mini silent prayer.
It is there, Nick. Don't you worry about it.
You out working? What are you calling in about?
I would like
What's on your mind, Bradley?
I would like to ask you a question there, Nick.
Hit me.
What is the role in I'm sorry. Let me think about how I'm going to word this for you now.
Mm-hmm.
What role does politics... Oh, are you there?
I'm here. Hit me with your question.
Oh, okay. I can do that for you, Nick. Anything you ask, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure. What role in politics does I'm sorry. What role does does politics play in Christianity?
What role does politics play in Christianity? I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure because I don't think it does
right now.
I don't think. Yeah, let's ponder this. We could rap about this, but I don't know if I have an answer for you. What comes to mind is I don't know if anything. I don't know if it does. I think Christianity can guide you in your politics, and many people vote that way. Many people vote and they're guided by what they believe is Christianity and their beliefs. But when you bring up a word like Christianity, it comes to mind 2 things, right? There's how the world uses that word and what they think, and then there's like the true Christianity, which is a little bit of a, it's a very heavy thing to say. Oh, you got the true Christianity, but you got to understand. I don't know if you agree with me, but it seems to me that Christianity is about letting go of stuff. And that might help you in making your political decisions in a much clearer way. But I don't know if it really has anything to do with politics, Christianity.
Well, I would ask you this. Are you tiptoeing around the truth so that people in the chat will stay with you?
No.
No.
I only do that. I only tiptoe around the truth. I only tiptoe around the truth for YouTube. I only do that. I only do that for.
The truth comes out.
I only do that for YouTube, for the government, for. But not for the audience. No. I don't mind. I don't mind going against them or saying something they might not like.
Now, how the heck do I tag people in the chat there, Nick?
You want to... Oh, this is a nice function. In fact, I like that you're asking me this. There's people who want to ask me stuff in the chat, and they don't... You don't always have to super chat. If it's just a little thing you want to tell me, you could just... This is what you do. Before, you type the little @ sign, and then you type in someone's name. And that's how you tag someone in the chat. So if you want to tag me, Nick, you just press the @ sign, and you type in American space anchor space baby, and it'll tag me in the chat, and I'll be able to see that you tagged me.
Now, Nick, what if I do the name 100% correctly, as I did with @Starboard? I did it with @whatever. Okay, she's got a crazy name. So she's got some name, but she's a mod. And it didn't work. What should I do then, Nick?
Are you on your phone? If you did it on your phone, it'll. I forget. But I believe it also works on the phone.
All right, let's stop talking about this. What do you say? we can figure this out later. Let's talk some business.
All right, give me your question, and then we'll move on here.
What role?
What do you think? Because I kind of give you my thoughts there.
You asking me a question?
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it on you. Sorry.
It's your show, Nick. It ain't my show.
I know, but I want to hear what you think, because I was thinking, I'm not quite sure if it has anything to do with Christianity per se, but yeah, there's probably there should be a difference between Christians and the world, right? There should be like a difference, and that could also mean like you vote differently and all that. What do you think about that?
Rephrase it simpler for me.
Don't you? I believe that there should be a difference, a marked difference between a Christian and someone who's someone from the world. And so you might see that difference in politics, but I don't know if politics per se, if Christianity has really anything to do with politics. You know, it's kind of downstream from Christianity, if I may steal a phrase. What do you think about that?
I'd say this.
Are you drinking, Bradley?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I've been sober for a very long time, isn't it?
Well, right on, man. Right on. You're just thinking. That's just chat. That's just chat making speculative questions, and I'm just repeating them.
Well, when joy smacks you straight in the face, it really does hurt.
Right on. Well, Bradley, I mean, that's kind of my take on the politics thing. You want to give me your take real quick before I move the wheels here?
Hey, I'll say what I gotta say.
All right, hit me.
I'll say that no, it doesn't have a role to play with Christianity. You want me to be quick?
You're welcome to express yourself. Go ahead. I'm following.
Okay. If you want me to be quick, I'll be quick.
No worries.
If you want me to be slow and explain myself, I will.
It's funny because you're adding more time by doing that. But we're cool, Bradley.
It ain't my show, Nick. It's your show.
It's suddenly Bradley's show. Hit me with your...
Hey, watch it, Nick. Hey.
Hit me with your take.
Watch yourself, Nick. Come on now.
Come on now. Bradley, hit me with your take. We're going to move the wheels after this. I do want you to be quick, in fact, actually.
Okay, thank you for answering that.
No problem, Bradley.
So I will say that I will use someone else's words, not my own. I'll say C.S. Lewis will tell you that politics itself is of the devil, right?
Oh.
You know that, right?
I didn't know that. I don't know if I've ever heard this.
Oh, Well, let me share with you a little secret.
Let's see if you, yeah, quickly.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So politics is of the devil, says C.S. Lewis, and you agree with him.
Oh, I agree with him wholeheartedly, old man, if I meditate on this.
So, but what did you think about Christians getting involved in politics? What do you think about that?
I think that if you got the fire in your belly to fight all the evils in the world, oh, go ahead and do it, but you might catch some smoke.
That's true. But do you personally say Christians in America should get involved or not involved with politics?
They should, but it has to be the right Christian, the one that has the fire in his belly, the one that is willing to take on all comers.
Yeah, yeah.
The one that won't falter.
Yeah.
The one, okay, the one that is in Jesus' likeness. If you ain't, then step the heck out, okay? We can say Trump is the one, right?
I can't disagree.
We can say that.
Oh, yeah, I can't disagree with your first statement. And about Trump, what about him?
We can say that he's the one, right?
He is for me.
Yeah, we can say that. But is anyone really the one in politics?
Is anyone what in politics?
Really the one in politics? Is there really any candidate?
I don't really. When you say the one, you mean like the one, like a true Christian? I think that might be a little bit. That might be. Let me just say, Bradley. I think that might be inadvisable kind of position to have in general. I don't think. In most cases, I think we shouldn't be thinking that about others. Is that person a true Christian? I think if you're already thinking that, you should examine yourself like, why am I thinking this? Because it's kind of a trap.
I agree with you, Nick.
It's kind of a trap. I'm not saying you can criticize, and you by all means, you could disagree, criticize, blah, blah, blah. But getting into, is he a true Christian, and should I vote for him because he's a true Christian, is a bit of a, I think it's a trap. I think it's a trap.
But what about the trap of, you shouldn't vote for him because he's a Christian?
Again, like I said, I think it fits more to the point. It's a trap to kind of focus on those things. Like, you should just know what you believe is true, whatever you believe is true, and then whatever candidate you believe fits that, I guess.
All right, so.
And we all make mistakes, and we may be subject to folly and deception. But my point remains. That shouldn't be like, it doesn't even, like, I'm saying this kind of outside of even voting. I think in general, you should have this mindset that you don't want, if you start thinking, is this person a true Christian or not? Then maybe that you're already kind of down the wrong path a little bit, and maybe examine why you're thinking that. I think that's just in general, not even about politics.
I agree with you. Yeah, because no man is good, right?
Good point. Yeah, no man is good, and that doesn't mean that that someone can't be in the right place at the right time, even if they're not this Christian that you think they are or not.
And who does God hate the most?
I don't know. I don't know if he hates anyone. I guess he hates evil, the devil.
Yeah. That's the right answer, but you you answered it generally, so you got lucky.
Yeah, it was a guess. No, but like
in the word.
Well, right on,
specifically,
Bradley.
It's hypocrites.
Oh, that's what it says in the Bible?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I've never heard that before. Interesting. I'm gonna have to. Not that I don't believe you, but I'm just saying I've never heard that. Very interesting, Bradley. Man, I appreciate your call.
Everybody in the chat, go ahead and look that up. You can look it up on Google and then go into your Bible. You can be your little Bible thumper.
I'm going to have to do my Googles on that one. I do appreciate it,
everyone, time to be a Bible thumper. Hey, check out. Oh, don't be a hypocrite or else goddamn. See? Boom.
Well, I'm going to do my Googles there, Bradley. I'm going to move the wheels, man. Call me again.
Oh, yes, sir. You have a wonderful day. Don't let nobody take control of your show like I just did.
Dang, Brad. Was he a troll? Wait, were you trolling me this whole time? Bradley, thanks for your call. Call me again. Moving the wheels. Was that mask off moment? Like, I just took over your show? Like, whatever. It's all good. Bradley, appreciate your call. Call me again. Deontay, Orlando, Florida. You're on the air. Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
I'm just fine. Appreciate your call, Deontay. Go ahead.
So I have a quick question. What do you think about, well, I know you just went in with like him about the Christianity thing, and I just wanted to clarify. So what do you think about 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. I think I'm saying his name right.
Vivek. Yeah, and some people say Vivek. It might be Vivek, but Vivek Ramaswamy. I like him. I don't know too much about him, but you know, I'm always on the news aggregators, watching the news and doing this or that, putting together the show. So every now and then I'll come across a clip. I come across a clip of Vivek, and he sounds pretty based to me. Like, I think he said something. What did he say? Something that was a little very not based. But I can't even remember the comment. I remember him just saying stuff like, we need to abolish the Department of Education and other things. I like it. And also, he's not like and I think the Trump base has a positive view of him too, personally, because he brings up good topics and good things and sounds pretty base and I don't think is a real challenger to Trump. So, you know, people like him for that reason, in my opinion.
Do you care that he's like a Hindu?
No, I'm not voting for him, right? I don't personally care. Like I don't see him as a president. I wouldn't vote for him as my president. But let's say he wins the Republican primary. I mean, I don't know. What are you asking me here? Sorry, let's get back to what you're asking me. Do I care if he's a Hindu? No, personally, no. I don't think that should be anyone leading America. We want to be Christian.
Yeah, that's what I was curious. Like because I was listening to you were saying like something about like Christianity. I was trying to really understand. You weren't making strong stances, so I want to ask you like
fair. Okay, go
clearly.
on.
Like, do you think that you should be a Christian man in politics?
Ooh. Are you asking me if only Christian men should be in politics?
Yes.
Yes. Ideally, I think ideally in my head canon, only the Christians are leading stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they'll set it up right. You know, if it's real, they'll leave the space where it needs to be. They'll leave the, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll leave space where it needs to be, the leeway where it needs to be, and be tough where it needs to be.
So that's what I was trying to understand when you was talking to.
That is a fair question. And Deontay, just in reference to my last caller, Bradley, the reason why I was saying it doesn't have to do with it, because in context with my last call, I'm thinking of, okay, the Christianity that changes your life. The type of that kind of that aspect of Christianity where I'm examining my life and it's changing my life. And I don't think that has to do with politics. Now, my heart might change and it may change my politics. You see what I'm saying? But I don't think the politics, it's I guess I'm just trying to describe, the order. It goes like heart change first, then politics, not politics first, then heart change. I guess that's kind of what I was really trying to get at, and where I see how politics ends and Christianity starts. Am I making some sense here?
I don't know. It's kind of going back and forth because the only reason I say that, and I'm not trying to be like, just being honest. And
hit me.
But
go ahead.
I think when we're talking about like laws, if somebody's just because, say for instance, somebody's heart doesn't change, that doesn't mean they shouldn't abide under the laws that govern the nation, and the nation's laws need to be based under the Christian faith. It's a Christian nation.
And just because you're not a Christian or don't have it in the heart doesn't mean you shouldn't follow the law. And that's not what I'm saying at all.
Right.
I agree with you on that. The laws are the laws, and that's how it's going to be. If the Christians are in the government making the laws, that doesn't mean that everybody else doesn't follow them. Those are the laws. The law is the law. We're on the same page on that.
Okay. Yeah, that's like my only drawback with Ramaswamy. I think he sounds like a cool candidate to me, but I don't like the fact that he's not a Christian. So right now Trump is my number one guy, and then number two is DeSantis, and then number three is going to have to be RFK Jr., and then number four is Ramaswamy because he's not a Christian.
Ramaswamy under RFK Jr. You heard it here, the tier list.
Because he's not a Christian.
What do you think about this?
I would rather him be a Christian.
True, and I agree. And I don't disagree with you, man. And I'd rather a Christian. I think if someone was a Hindu and it was two people as Hindu Christian, it's like obviously Christian. That being said, the reason I have even some. What were you saying, Deontay?
I question how would God feel if we put what's some people that like multiple gods? What do we call it?
Yeah, pagans.
A
pagan polytheist, a Hindu,
as the head of our nation.
And this is true. This is true, Deontay.
It's against our commandments.
I totally agree. That being said, that being said, do you see any? I want to play a little devil's avocado here with you. I feel like another side of God, he would see a Christian nation. Let's say we're hypothetical here. Let's say let's say it's God, and he looks down and he sees a Christian nation, and they make a Hindu their president. Well, that's ridiculous. But on the same time, let me tell you a different story. And I'm not saying this is Vivek, but this is just kind of something that came to mind. Let's say God is looking down at this nation that's lost their way or whatever, and it's supposed to be Christian. And there's a man who gets picked to lead it or whatever in this story, and he's like a Hindu or whatever. But do you believe someone can have like the right heart, like the heart of a Christian, despite them because they grew up a certain way? They have different words for things. They call themselves something else, but they have the right heart. They have the heart of a Christian, and God can use that person.
No, because if you had the heart of a Christian, you'd be a Christian.
I know, but not everybody knows, right? They were raised differently, and then all this immigration, so things are all weird. And so they come from different places, and then they maybe hear the true word. Do you see what I'm saying here? And they may not call themselves different things. Maybe I'm not making sense here.
I don't. It makes sense, but I don't believe that to be true.
Okay.
Because I would see it more as, if you remember, like in the Old Testament, like when Moses went away and he came back and they were worshiping cows.
Oh, yeah.
And remember how he was mad and everybody, you see what I'm saying? If we put
I'm following you, man. I'm just saying that some people
cows,
call themselves, because there's people who call themselves Christian and they're absolutely not. And I'm betting you there's people who don't call themselves Christian and they totally are. I bet you that's also true. And I'm not saying Vivek is. This is just something that came to mind. This has nothing to do with Vivek, honestly. And I agree with you. I want a Christian. I want Christians in government. But what you're asking me also brought this to mind. Don't you think that there also might be people who don't call themselves Christian who are way, or at least closer to Christian than people? I don't know. Maybe I'm splitting hairs here.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. That you're talking about, like with people how they act and what they say.
Yeah.
Like, do they have conservative values? Yeah,
and even deeper than that.
Values.
I think even deeper. I think God maybe even changed some people's hearts, and they don't even realize it, and they don't even say. But they won't even call themselves Christian because they were raised differently or whatever. But I think God changes hearts, and they don't even know that. I don't know. I'm making some sense.
Yeah.
I have this suspicion.
But we're playing in the weeds.
You'll know it by their works. You'll know it by the fruit. You know what I mean? It's more about the heart than the words.
Right. His fruit. He's saying I'm just saying, like, God, if we put in a position of power as a leader of our nation, somebody that does not worship the same God as us, I don't feel like that's like when
that sounds like
mess.
I hear you.
Right.
I do, Deontay. That sounds like mess. That sounds ridiculous.
It sounds like something from the Old Testament.
Yeah, no, it sounds absolutely ridiculous.
God came and seen the Israelites put one of the pagans of the other nations as their head. God would have, he did it. Oh, man. I'm not saying God was going to just like throw fireballs at us, but I'm just saying, like, that doesn't seem like.
Right. But like, look at Trump even too. It's like Trump, the Christians looked at him and said, he's not a Christian. He's not a real Christian. And so I'm kind of referring to, and I agree, like, I think it would be ridiculous to have a president. It's like, what's that guy? Rishi Sunak over in England? It's ridiculous. What is it? Is it Britain? The British PM is like a Muslim man. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm with you, man.
But that's what we're
I'm just kind of pointing to this interesting notion because even Trump they said about Trump, he's not a real Christian or whatever. And I think God may use people who may not look as Christian as you want them to look. And I think God uses those people, and that's all I'm referring to. But I'm with you, man. No, I don't want to Muslim, Hindu, whatever.
But I just think, I feel like there's like if you see somebody and you make accusations on them because of like, hey, he's not a real Christian. That's different than somebody outwardly telling you that they're different.
True. At least at least he says he is, right?
I mean, I can't tell you what's in his heart, but he's outwardly telling you that he's a Christian. What's going on in his heart? I can't tell you what's going on in your heart or the next man's heart, nothing like that. But you can outwardly tell me, hey, look, I'm a Christian, and I'm going to take it for face value because I don't know what's going on in your heart. If a man comes and tells me he's a Hindu, no disrespect to being a Hindu. I
think that's a very sober point you're making.
But he's telling me right then and there. So when he makes a Hindu decision in office, am I going to sit there and look like, I'm going to look dumb because he already told me what he was?
I think that's a very sober, simple point you're making. I mean, you can't know the heart, and this person's telling you what he is. I mean, I hear you, man.
He's going to have a cow in front of the White House. What are we going to do?
We picked him, right? It'll be diversity all over again. It's like, well, every day is for the white people. Can we have one for the Hindus?
Exactly. No more hamburgers. What are we gonna do when we don't have that? That's the most American thing we have. No more
sacred
steak.
cow.
No more nothing.
A literal sacred cow.
The eagle's gonna be a cow. How are we gonna do with that?
They're making it a literal sacred cow.
And then there you go. We got the Old Testament. We're already in it, but we done did it all over again. But no, man, that's all I had to say. I was just curious on your
sober point, Deontay. I appreciate your call and your point there. Call me again.
All righty, buddy. Have a good one.
Moving the wheels. Hake with the Bible verse. Scripture in the chat says Romans 2:14. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves. Whoa. 15, verse 15, which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness. I'm going to leave it at that. I will say no commentary on that. If you know, you know. Thank you for that scripture, Hake, in the chat. Much appreciated. Brian, North Carolina, you're on the air.
Man, shout out to Hake. Just dropped a whole nuclear bomb of God.
Not the other N word, but the other. Yeah, I agree.
Oh man, that's amazing. What do I say after that, man?
It's over. We can go home. We can go home.
I have nothing else to say. Man, well, I don't know what that last caller's name was, but I agree with his measure of who he would vote for, Deontay. That makes sense along the lines of, what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with I think, what's the guy's name?
Yeah, Ramaswamy.
Swamy. Just can't have no more of that. That's the problem now. We got to get that up out of there.
So true. Yeah. I gotta say, I had my little split hair, blah blah blah. But I can't essentially disagree with that very kind of rational point. Yeah, we can't know the heart, but if they're outwardly telling you, I mean, they should already that already tells you enough.
For sure, 100%. And if I can say this,
please,
when it comes to people who I have come across who know the truth, even if it's just I come across a lot of people who know the truth about that, but they don't know the truth about anger.
Yes.
But even then, those people, I meet just as many people, if not more, than I do of people who call themselves Christians and actually know the truth.
Man, you know what? You kind of garbled there. Can you say that last statement once more?
I said I meet more people who don't call themselves Christians, but they carry the truth, if not more, than I meet people who call themselves Christians and carry the truth.
That is an interesting point, man. And I have to say, I kind of agree. I think we're on the same page here because, what does that even mean? Like carrying the truth more. But I got to say, I agree with what you're saying because I feel like I've seen the same thing. I'll see, for example, give me two people. One who's like calling himself a Christian but has all these hang-ups. Is like, no, I can't sin. Versus like a guy who's not a Christian. He's kind of out of control, but at least he's honest. Am I making some sense here? Like, I feel like are we on the same page?
Sense, man.
On the same page of what you're describing.
Totally making sense. See, yeah, but the problem is people don't know what a Christian. Most people don't know what a real Christian is. Just like most people don't understand how deep that verse is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That verse is like, what can I say? That verse is so deep. It's ridiculous. It's like ridiculously amazing. There's nothing to be said after that. That shit. If you don't get understanding from that, I don't know where you're looking.
Right. Doing the law by nature.
Yeah, man.
And then, it's Romans 2, 14 to 15 for those who missed it. Yeah, I agree. It's it points to what we're talking about here. There is a blueprint of sorts,
It's in our hearts, buddy.
Yeah.
It's already written. It's amazing.
It really
all right,
is.
Man.
Brian, man, thank you.
That's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Call me
all
again.
Right, take care.
Take care.
Will do.
Right on, man. Thank you, all callers. You guys have made the show. Much appreciated. I have my little topics. You guys come in, though, and you guys make the show. You guys support it, and we keep it going. We got more American Anchor Baby for all of you tomorrow. We got Wednesday, Manhood Hour on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. The Hake Report, always coming in hard. Heavyweight Hake. And, of course, American Anchor Baby at 12. That's the show, y'all. I much appreciate it. And we had ourselves a show, right? We had ourselves a show. And I'm grateful. I will see you all. What can I say? Let me see. Yeah. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. I've been doing that a little lately. Did that yesterday. Did that. That's all the super chats, all your support. Catch me tomorrow, American Anchor Baby at 12. No more YouTube super chats or memberships on Bond YouTube. No way. Breaking Bond, Rebuilding the Man, YouTube channel being demonetized. Oh. Darn. Dang, we got, darn. Demonetization, dang. I'm talking about the Bond YouTube channel has been demonetized, meaning you can't super chat or, the AdSense and all that. It's gone. Darn. And okay, so that's how it goes. So we need your support. We do this with your support, your donations and all that. But even your engagement, you getting in there and dropping that like, dropping that subscribe, it helps us a lot on all the channels. So, much appreciated, y'all. Let me sign off here once more, but the final time. Signing out, American Anchor Baby. See you guys tomorrow. Much appreciated.